Hello, everyone, and welcome to Live with Cami. And this is, if you're watching this on our Facebook group or on our YouTube channel, it's Live with Cami. If you are listening to this on our podcast, it is Homeschool Success with Cami Juanes. I am so excited, you guys. Today is probably one of the most important lives I've ever done. We've been blessed these last several months with guests that we've had on that are experts in their field. If you haven't watched or listened to those episodes, make sure you go back and do that because it is absolutely phenomenal information. But today, I'm going to share with you the meat of it all. I'm going to share with you the big picture. I'm going to share with you the vision, and I'm going to share with you how to get there. You guys, homeschooling is a leap of faith. It is a leap of faith, isn't it? Oh my gosh. It is really just holding on by your shirt tails and just wondering if it's all going to work out sometimes. And you have to keep a vision in mind of what your end goal is, what you really want your homeschool to look like, what you want it to be every single day. And that's one of the things that we help you develop in the Freedom Scholar Roadmap. We're going to be talking about the roadmap throughout, but I want to share with you today that vision because sometimes when you're in the midst of it, when you're just going through the motions, you're just hanging on and you're surviving every day, it's difficult to see that future for yourself and your family. But it is so powerful, you guys. It is so amazing. And I can't even begin to tell you how wonderful, how fulfilling, and how sometimes I just pinch myself because I'm just really amazed at where we are today. And I'm going to share with you some of those stories, and then we're going to talk about how you can get there. Okay. And the success stories are very important because it's what helps you keep that vision in your mind. And then it's what helps you have a little hope, have a little faith during the tough times, and then really see what the end goal could look like and what our daily goals can be what we want our daily life to look like. It's so fabulous, you guys. I'm so excited about this. This literally, like I said, is one of the most important things I'm going to share with you that I might have ever shared with you in the past. It's so huge. And I was just thinking about you guys over the holidays. I hope you had a wonderful holiday with your family. And we're doing so much learning still. And I was just so amazed at that. And I was trying to think, how can I convey that to you and give you the picture? Because sometimes I feel like if I could only give you the picture of what it could look like for you and your family, it would change everything for you. It would give you that goal and that kind of idea of just the learning and the depth and the relationships and the inspiration in your homeschool. It's oh my gosh, it's so exciting. I'm so excited for you. So stories like this often can help you not only with giving you the vision, but also help with your confidence. Like, man, okay, we got this. We can do this. We can do this. And it helps you unlearn and remind you not to should on yourself. You guys know I talk a lot about the educational should, and that's the idea that we should be doing more, we should be here, we should be learning this at this age, this grade, we should be spending more time and blah, 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 whatever. They can't fall behind. All of those things are the educational should. And these stories are the things that really help us remember to take a breath and then also remember that we can't should on ourselves and we can't should on our kids, right? Okay. So this is super important. And you guys, I have thrived over the years on these types of stories. It's really important. And seeing that example and just knowing that it's possible is so important. And then we're going to talk about the roadmap there. So I'm going to show you how to get there for sure. That's my goal. You guys, that's what I'm all about, is showing you how to get there. It is so phenomenal, the experience that you have. So I'm going to share with you a couple of little stories that are going to just show you what the experience is you could have in your homeschool. And some of these are from the past and some of them are more recent. So my son is 15 years old, and we have one son, and he's 15. And it has really been a journey in our homeschool. And it's been a process of me unlearning a lot of my shoulding from public education from when I was schooled, but then also as a teacher. I was a high school English teacher. And then my husband still teaches public school, you guys. It's difficult to unlearn that should. It really, really is. So these stories just stand out in my mind as like, man, and I just picked 3, you guys. I just picked 3. I could go on all day. Really, I could, but this is just 3. So it just shows you, like, wow, I can't even believe that just happened. Sometimes I'm just amazed. So when my son, Kenyon, was about 9, 10 years old, literally, he was very, very young. He heard me talking about this book I was reading. It's called The Fourth Turning. It's a phenomenal, very deep book. It's about all the cycles, the 4 different cycles in history that have really repeated themselves and how long they are, the background behind it. It tracks them throughout history, Anglo American history, through, I think, from the like 1500s ish all the way through like the 2000s, or I'm sorry, through the early 80s, I believe, is when the book was written. But it's absolutely phenomenal. It blows your mind. It's so deep. It's so incredible. I actually read the first part of the book, which is like the first 50 pages. It talks about the different ways that people have viewed the passage of time throughout history. It's very deep, it's very important, and it's so fascinating. But I literally read that like 3 or 4 times because I was having like, I just wanted to really get it. And it was like, what is he saying? Okay, okay, okay. Right. So I'm telling my husband about this. My son is about 9 and 10 years old. I'm telling my husband about this. I'm saying, this is so amazing. This is how people view time. And then da 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 da. And like, this book is da 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 da. Right. And I'm so excited about it. And my son goes, can I read that book? Mommy, can I read that book? And I was like, I guess so, sure. I mean, why not? I thought it might be a little above his head, but whatever, sure. Why not? There's nothing in it objectionable. So, anyways, he literally sits down in the chair and starts reading it. And he reads for a couple of hours. And then he picks it up the next day and reads some more. And he is so fascinated. He literally only read that part about the way people view time about once. And he he followed my husband around the house telling him, Daddy, this is how, and then these people view time like this. And then there was circular time. And then they're led to linear time and da da da. And he's telling him all about this stuff, all from the inspiration that he had because I was reading a book and talking about it and how excited I was about it. Right. You guys, this is to have my 9, 10-year-old son talking about and reading a book at a beyond college level. Really, I mean, beyond bachelor's degree level, I can tell you that much for sure. It is a fabulous book. And the way that he was talking about it and being able to recount it and really understand it, woo, that will blow your mind. I mean, it's so amazing. I was blown away, absolutely blown away. So, that is just an example of one of the ways that you're just listening to these things happening all the time. And that's just literally one tiny example. This stuff happens all the time in our house right now, which is absolutely fabulous. And it's happened like that for quite a while. So, the next story I'm going to tell you is about it happened more recently within the last several months. My son was really into taking this AI course on artificial intelligence and what it is and how it's used in the background and the whatever and like the possibilities for the future and what you can do with it and how you can use it and blah blah blah. And he's experimenting with different things and doing all this stuff. And he got so into it. He was reading an article that was in the course and then how it could be used in the future. And then he watched a video that was also in there about like how civilization is going to change and da da da. That was all like obviously theoretical, but they tracked it throughout history and things. And he had a lot of opinions about this. He had a lot of opinions based on his previous study and on the study that he was doing currently based on the foundations of what he knows about society and what he knows about what's happening now and things like that. Just really applying it to everything else he's learned. So then, you guys, this is so funny. So he comes to me, and this is a child. Let me give you a little background. This is a child that has disliked writing for years. Years. I mean, years. And as a high school English teacher, that kind of like it hurts the heart. It like gets your soul a little bit. It really does because it's so difficult to have a child that like reads. It's such a high reading level, but writing was such a chore. And we really had to do a lot of family reset, a lot of just working through that process with him. And it was a lot of letting go. I'm not gonna lie. It was a lot of letting go, a lot of letting go. So then this is years later. He just starts asking me about, he starts writing schedules and starts really wanting to take ownership of his schedule and his day and his studies and things. And I love that, right? So then he comes to me, he's in this AI course, right? And he's like, you know what? He's like, "Can I write my I have a lot of opinions about everything that's being talked about here and a lot of research that I've been reading that I can like back it up with. Can I write up my own paper about how technology is going to be used and how it's going to affect society in the future?" And I was like, yes, please." Right? I'm not going to say no to that. He literally spent the next 5.5 hours. I had to stop him to eat dinner. 5.5 hours he sat and he wrote and wrote and wrote. And you guys, the writing level blew my English teacher mind. I've been a teacher long enough to know what a high school level, and especially as a 15-year-old, as a freshman should look like, or I'm shoulding, right? But normally looks like. His writing level blew my mind. It was phenomenal, you guys. It was crazy. I was literally like, who taught you to use these words? His sentence structure was varied. He used transitions. He used commas almost exactly correctly. I have had very little direct teaching on commas. And he just naturally from all of his reading knows, but also when I do teach him things, he picks up on it right away because he wants to, right? So fabulous. And his writing, he wrote an introductory paragraph, quite honestly, just as good, if not better, than I was writing as a senior in college. And I was very good. And that's one of the things that I actually do pretty well is introductions and conclusions. Like I do that pretty well writing, and I got pretty good at that. And his introduction was, oh my gosh, blow your mind. I was like, I can't even believe where he even got the format of all of that stuff. We did a little bit of training on introduction paragraphs. He did a little course on OutSchool one time, but it was really not that much. Like it was really very small. I was amazed. I was amazed. And there was so much thought, so much whatever. And we talked about it. We said, okay, I think you want to, we refi he revised it and revised it and revised it and revised it. And then guess what? Guess what? Then he was reading some of his studies books that we always, we're always constantly reading. And he came back and he's like, you know what? This is like maybe a week later. He comes back and says, I've actually been I've realized that I've been focusing in the wrong area. I started in the wrong area for this paper. I need to start way back here first, and then I'll get to the AI and the technology. But I have to start here because if I don't start here, then the foundation is lost and people don't understand they need this foundation. And I couldn't believe my mind. He's like, this is what people need right now. This is the most important thing. I am going to write a book about this. This is going to be, and so he's got this other part that he's working on, right? That he's already started with the technology, and he actually backtracked, and you guys, this is what writers do. This is what writers do. They go back and they say, oh, I need to fill in these gaps here, and they go back and they write more. I could not believe my mind. He was so fabulous. He's been working and working and working and revising. He's citing his sources. He's going and getting books. He's taking them out and finding passages and typing those in to help back up his points. This is college level work, people. College level work. I am blown away. I'm just blown away. And I haven't told him to do any of it. I haven't told him to work on it. I haven't told none of it. But almost every day he asks me to, can I work on my paper? Can I work on my book? Can I work on my writing? Oh man. I can't tell you guys the joy. It's so great. It's so great. Okay, and that kind of actually leads into the third talk that or the third story I'm going to tell you. So the third story, you guys, this kind of a thing happens regularly in our household. And so this is just one specific example that actually happened last night. Last night. Oh, by the way, I often videotape. I don't often, but I this the other day I actually videotaped one of our discussions because we were having this amazing discussion for like an hour and a half, and he was getting books and like going back and, well, it says in here you got to do this, and it says, they talk about this and one of the principles and one of the and we were having this incredible discussion, and I just had to turn on the video because I was like, I don't even know. I have to turn on the video to make sure it's real for me, right? But this is so amazing. So last night, you guys, yesterday I had a business call with my business coach, and I was so inspired. I was so fulfilled. I was ready to like take off and run. I mean, I'm still feeling it. It was so impactful for me. I was just ready to go and ready to run, you guys. And it was such a great talk. It was information I needed. It was, here's what you're doing right. Here's what you need to improve on. Here's whatever. And I was casting the vision. So I just got it. And I was super excited. So I was telling my husband about it. My son, of course, was right there. So we were all talking about it. And I'm telling him, he said this, and then he said that. And I've been saying that for a while. And I've been thinking this. And he, this is where we're going. And this, he asked me about my vision. And this is the vision. And da 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 da. And I was so inspired. And I was just casting that vision of where I'm headed and where I want to go, all the challenges I'm having, right? And how those can be overcome, and where I need to focus now. And I knew that. And here's what I just feel like I need to da 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 da, and just really getting into it. My son says, he literally interrupts me from this, and he says, you know what, I've got the idea for exactly what business I'm going to make and what courses I'm going to do courses, and I'm going to create. It's not about what I was going to do before, because I don't think I need to focus in that area. What I need to do and what needs to happen is he's like, of course I'm going to work on it myself first, so I know exactly what to do. He's like, but I'm going to do courses on helping teenagers and helping kids take control of their schedule and taking control of their life, and getting their stuff together. He says, I'm sick and tired of not having my stuff together, and I want to have my stuff together, and I'm going to teach kids because there's nothing out there. And he's thinking marketing. He's thinking like visionary. He's like, there's all this stuff out there for, like there's books and stuff, but there's nothing from a kid's point of view that says, hey, you can get your stuff together, and here's how you can own. And I was like, well, really, you're talking about ownership, right? You're talking about owning your schedule, owning your education, owning your life. And he's like, exactly. And I'm going to teach them how to, I'm gonna do a whole course and teach them how to do, scheduling, and how to do, get their goals, and da 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 da. And I was like, he's like, I'm gonna do additional course. He's like, but I have to make it cheap because I don't have a lot of money. And so I'm gonna it's so wonderful. He's hearing me talk about all these different aspects of owning a business, right? The different web hosting, and having your domain, and email marketing, and social media, and all this stuff. It's so fun. He's like, I'm gonna go. Can I please go research like what free and cheap like web, where I can have a website like for free and cheap? I'm like, sure, yeah, let's go ahead. He's looking, and he's like, okay, this one is pretty, this one says free. And I was like, well, know that when you have free stuff a lot of times it's like, yeah, you can have your website there, but if y'all want it to actually do something, then you're gonna have to pay a little more. And he's like, okay. So he's looking in there, and I was explaining to him the difference between web hosting and having a domain, and all of these things. And it's so fun. And he's like, well, this one says it's for e-commerce. And I was like, well, if you want to have you want to sell something, you gotta that's e-commerce. And he's like, oh, okay, that's me. Okay, that's perfect. He was so juiced. And this kind of stuff happens all the time. He gets inspired. He goes and he researches stuff. He just gets into it and really puts into it, really triggers for him some wants and some needs about, like, oh, I really want to get my stuff together. I want to take ownership. I want to figure this out so that I can help teach other people. You guys, this is so fantabulous. I can't even tell you. The conversation we had the other day that I videoed was about it was kind of a controversial article, and I said, read this and I want to talk about it with you. And so it was something somebody sent to me. And so he read it, and he actually read it several times. And he read it I said, "What are you done reading it yet?" And he's like, "Well, I'm reading again because I want to really make sure that I understand what they're saying." And I was like, "Okay." Like, I didn't tell him to do that. It was amazing. So then we started talking about it, and I'm asking questions, and I'm feeling out where he's like, I mean, we're just rolling, and he's taking out books. He's referencing other things. And man, what what an amazing conversation. I took out my phone and I started videoing, and he's like, "Are you gonna post this?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna post it, but I mean, I might, but I'm not gonna post it." But I said, "I just wanna we're having such a great conversation. I just wanna remember this, right?" So he was so funny, and he's like, "Okay." And so he kept going, and it was just so fabulous. I mean, I'd missed most of it at that point, but it was really, really amazing. And that stuff happens to us all the time. Is our homeschooling perfect? No. Does it have to be? No. But when stuff like that happens on a regular basis, oh, my whole body is like on fire right now, you guys. If you could just feel the energy that is happening, because it is exactly what I want for you. It's exactly what I want to happen for you and your family. This is why I do what I do, because I want it for you. I want you to feel that excitement. I want you to see the depth and the beauty of discovery and inspiration, and just learning, and oh my gosh, it's absolutely an ownership, and having that your kids take ownership of their own education. You can see I'm getting a little emotional about it because it really does touch my soul. But so those are the awesome things. And now I'm going to tell you how to get there. How did I do all this? How did we make this happen in our household? It is a long process. I'm not going to tell you it's easy. Because most of it happens up here in your mind. It happens in your mind. It's your thinking that needs to change, and you convey all of the right thinking to your kids. And so the roadmap to get you to that point is the Freedom Scholar Roadmap. It is absolutely every single step that we've taken that is the right step. Of course, we've taken wrong steps along the way, but we've really taken the steps to get us here is the steps of the Freedom Scholar Roadmap. It's finding out the foundations. The 12 checkpoints are the foundations of the Freedom Scholar Roadmap. And then the next 3 checkpoints in the Freedom Scholar Roadmap are the last 3 that really allow the mastery to happen, which is where you get all of this. Okay, you have to have the foundation first, though, and then you get all the rest. The foundation of the Freedom Scholar Roadmap is all the big picture stuff down to the nitty-gritty details. So it's all the scheduling, curriculum, methodologies, having your long-term vision and goals, having short-term vision and goals, having your having routines that and creating a culture and environment of love of learning, all of that stuff, and learning what mentorship means, because it's not teaching, it's mentorship, right? And I can tell you that all of these things have been tested over and over and over and over again by people I've mentored, by myself, by other people who've used the same principles in who I've mentored from, right? So a lot of this it's so proven, you guys, and you can apply it to any family in any situation because they are principles, right? They are things to think about. They are absolutely transferable and individualized. And so that first 12 checkpoints is the foundation, and that's in the Homeschool Success Club. If you are a new homeschooler, if you are just starting out, if you're thinking about homeschooling, or if you have been homeschooling for a while, but you never really got in your groove, you've been doing school at home and it's not really working, love of learning is really low in your household, you need Homeschool Success Club. Okay. And then we have the last three. When you've mastered all of those things, then we have the last three checkpoints in the Freedom Scholar Roadmap, which is the mastery. Mastery. That's in the Homeschool Success Mastery program. And that's where we bring in all the experts that we've been visiting with lately on our lives. And we bring in other subject matters that I teach you how to gain mastery over mentoring, how to be a good mentor, how to master that. Because if you don't, your kids will never get this. I'm just saying that it's just the truth. And then also how to create depth in education, how to create depth in the subject matter so that you're not just here's the basics of what I need to know. Nobody cares about that. You'll get the basics eventually, right? Okay, everybody, yes, the basics will be covered. But what we're looking for and what we're really wanting is for your kids to come out and with depth, with passion, with learning skills that they can learn anything, anywhere, anytime, any place, and then apply that to their passion and their talents and gifts into the world to make the world a better place. And that's the very last checkpoint in the Freedom Scholar Roadmap. It's the way that they take it and now move forward with it. So now they have all this foundation, all this something, and they take it and they build a course. They go out and they build a business. They get into a career that they know can make a difference with where their heart lies. This is the Freedom Scholar Roadmap, you guys. This is the key to really creating that kind of experience. And so just so you know, right now, I will drop the links in the show notes. I will in the comments below in both YouTube and on our Facebook group. I am doing a New Year special, 20% off each of those programs. So the Homeschool Success Club and the Homeschool Success Mastery until January 2nd, the midnight January 2nd. So make sure you guys take advantage of that. If you have any questions about which one applies to you, then let me know, because the mastery program is for more veteran homeschoolers that are ready for the next level. And also, if you have a middle schooler or high schooler, that'll be for you too. And although you could have elementary school students in there as well, just kind of depends. But really, that's where you yeah, we are in our groove. We know how to do stuff. We just want to now we need to get down and dirty and really master things. And then the Homeschool Success Club, remember, is for the newbies, for the people who have been homeschooling for a while, but man, it's really not going how you're not really thinking you're going to get the results like I just shared with you, right? So I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm just saying that these are the results that we've tried from really, really working and trial and error and really mentoring with other great mentors. And these principles in the Freedom Scholar Roadmap are what we applied to get there. You guys, this is so exciting. I want you to feel this. I want you to visualize that for yourself. I want you to see that, yeah, you know what? We rarely ever, if at all, argue about what to do with studies, about if at anything, it's like, hey, you haven't practiced piano in a while. Do you think you should practice piano? And then he's like, yeah, I kind of think I should practice piano. We rarely have any arguments, any pushback at all. If anything, he's like, okay, I understand that, but I understand I haven't practiced piano in a while, but I really wanted to work on my paper. Can I really work on my paper? I mean, really? Is that a problem? I mean, that's not a huge problem, right? So I want this for you guys. Please contact me, message me, email me, mentor@thefreedomscholar.com, message me on social media, reach out to me, and let's talk about which one applies to you. Homeschool Success Club, Homeschool Success Mastery, and let's get you on the Freedom Scholar Roadmap to success. And let's get you these results that just have you pinching yourself and wondering, how did this ever happen? This is so amazing. So you guys, I love you and I wish you a very, very happy new year. And we will talk again next Thursday. Again, I'm going to drop the links below with the discounts as well. Bye-bye.